Title: The Pumpkin Carver. Halloween night in Maple Ridge was always bright, with grinning jack-o'-lanterns and bustling streets. But on the edge of town, where no kids dared to trick-or-treat, sat an old, abandoned house. It was said that a twisted artist known as the Pumpkin Carver had once lived there, luring victims to his workshop and carving them in grotesque ways. Most thought it was just a ghost story to scare kids. Everyone but Lily, a fearless 17-year-old set on proving her bravery. Lily slipped away from her friend's Halloween party and made her way to the house alone. She had told no one her plan, determined to investigate the legend herself. As she approached the rundown building, the laughter and excitement of Halloween faded into an eerie silence, broken only by the creak of the front door as it swung open at her touch. A faint smell of dust and something metallic lingered in the air, and every surface was coated in a thin layer of grime. Inside, a faint candlelight glowed from down the hallway, catching her attention. As she approached, she saw a single pumpkin sitting in the middle of the room, freshly carved, with a flickering candle casting distorted shadows across the walls. Symbols were carved into the dusty wood, jagged and frenzied, adding an unsettling layer to the room. Lily's pulse quickened. This was the carver's workshop. A scraping sound made her jump. She turned and gasped. A tall figure stood in the doorway, cloaked in shadows. A burlap sack covered his face, with ragged eye holes and a stitched mouth. In one hand, he held a large, rusted saw, the blade streaked with dark stains. "Welcome," he rasped, his voice chilling and hollow. Lily took a step back, heart hammering, but her heel hit something hard on the floor. She looked down and saw jack-o'-lanterns with twisted expressions that looked unsettlingly human. She then realized these weren't ordinary pumpkins. They were skulls, stripped and hollowed, carved with expressions of fear and agony. The pumpkin carver took a step forward, his saw gleaming faintly in the candlelight. "They thought I was a legend," he said, his voice cold and deliberate. "But you've come to see for yourself." Desperately searching for a way out, Lily noticed a small window to her left, barely big enough to squeeze through. She glanced back at the carver, who was slowly advancing, the saw in his hand, ready. Gathering her courage, she lunged toward the table and grabbed the nearest object. A chisel. She swung it wildly, narrowly missing as he stepped back with a low, mocking laugh. The window was her only hope. She threw herself toward it, breaking through the glass and into the cold night air, the sharp edges scraping her skin. She didn't stop to look back, running through the grass and weeds until she was far from the house, her heart pounding with both fear and relief. By dawn, she was found trembling on the side of the road, her clothes torn and her skin covered in scratches. She told the townsfolk what she had seen, but when they went to the house, they found it empty. The symbols, the pumpkin skulls, the pumpkin carver, all gone, as if they had never been there at all. But every Halloween night after that, a new jack-o'-lantern would appear on a random porch in town, carved with a face twisted in terror. Each year, they looked disturbingly more lifelike, as though the carver's work continued. His legend never truly laid to rest. If you liked our story, please subscribe, like, and share. Until next time on Nightmare Tales.